Nobody tells men this. And honestly, that is the problem. Because most men spend years doing everything right on the surface, showing up, being kind, putting in the effort, and still watching the girl they genuinely like slowly drift away from them. And they never figure out why. Not because they were bad men. Not because they did not care enough. Not because they were not good enough. But because nobody ever told them the one thing that actually matters to a girl before she lets herself fall. That is what this video is about. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share is not the usual advice you have heard 100 times. No, be confident, without explaining what that actually looks like. No, just be yourself when you do not even know who that is yet. No empty motivational words that sound good but do nothing. This is real. This is the actual process of how a girl goes from noticing a guy to genuinely falling for him. And once you understand it, you will stop making the same invisible mistakes that have been quietly costing you. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand is this. A girl does not fall in love with a list of qualities. She falls in love with a feeling. And that feeling is created long before any deep conversation happens. Long before any romantic moment. Long before she even admits to herself that she likes you. It starts with something much simpler. It starts with how safe she feels around your presence. Now when I say safe, I do not mean physically safe. I mean emotionally safe. She needs to feel that being around you does not cost her anything. That she does not have to perform. That she does not have to carefully choose every word. That she can just exist near you without feeling judged, pressured, or managed. That kind of ease is rare. And when a girl finds it in a man, she starts coming back to it. Again and again. Without even fully understanding why. That is the beginning of falling. But here is where most men completely miss it. They think the goal is to impress her. So they put on a performance. They try to be funnier, smarter, more exciting than they naturally are. And girls can feel the performance. They can feel when a man is not fully relaxed in his own skin. And instead of feeling drawn in, they feel a quiet distance. Because you cannot create emotional safety while you are performing. You can only create it when you are genuinely grounded in yourself. And that leads into the second thing. Presence. Not just being physically there. Real presence. There is a specific kind of man that girls find almost impossible to forget. And it is not the loudest man in the room. It is not the most attractive on paper. It is not the one with the smoothest lines. It is the man who is actually there when he is with her. He is not distracted. He is not half thinking about something else. He is not scrolling through his phone while she is talking. He is not running future scenarios in his head. He is just present. And in a world where almost everyone is somewhere else mentally, that kind of presence hits differently. A girl who feels truly seen by a man, not just looked at, but actually seen, starts to feel something she cannot easily explain. It is not dramatic. It is quiet. But it is powerful. She starts thinking about you when you are not there. And that is how it begins. Now here is something that most relationship advice completely avoids. Tension. Healthy, natural tension. Not games. Not manipulation. Not confusing signals designed to keep her anxious. Real tension. The kind that comes from a man who is genuinely interested but is not desperate. The kind that comes from enjoying her company without needing her validation to feel complete. The kind that makes her wonder, just a little, where she stands. Not in a cruel way. In a natural way. Because here is the truth about how girls fall in love. They do not fall for certainty. They fall for possibility. When everything is handed over too fast, when a man is too available, too eager, too open before any real foundation exists, the possibility disappears. And when possibility disappears, so does the pull. A girl cannot chase a feeling that is already fully resolved. But when a man carries himself with quiet confidence, when he is warm but not desperate, when he shows genuine interest without making her the center of his entire emotional world, she starts leaning in. That lean is the beginning of falling. And this brings us to something deeper. The way you handle yourself when things are uncertain. Because every girl, at some point in the early stages, will pull back slightly. Not because she has lost interest, but because she is watching. She is watching how you respond. Does he panic? Does he start over-texting? Does he become distant and cold as punishment? Does he suddenly become less of himself because she did not respond the way he expected? Or does he stay steady? Does he remain the same man he was before the uncertainty showed up? That steadiness is not something girls consciously analyze, but they feel it deeply. And the man who can stay grounded when things are unclear, who does not fall apart, does not chase frantically, does not shrink, that man becomes someone she genuinely respects. And respect, in almost every case, comes before love. You cannot have one without the other. Now let's talk about what happens inside her. Because falling in love is not a decision a girl makes consciously. She does not sit down one day and decide to fall. It happens through a series of small, quiet moments that stack on top of each other. A conversation where she felt genuinely understood. A moment where you held your ground without being harsh. A time when you made her laugh and she did not expect it. A moment where you showed up, simply and fully, without needing anything in return. These moments do not feel significant when they are happening. But they collect. And at some point, without warning, she realizes she has been thinking about you more than she planned to. That is the falling. And the man who understands this stops trying to manufacture big dramatic moments. He stops overthinking every text. He stops trying to create some perfect version of himself for her to fall in love with. He just focuses on being real, consistent, and present. And he lets the moments collect naturally. There is one more thing. And this one is the most important. A girl falls in love with a man who has something to him. Not money. Not status necessarily. Not perfect looks. Something to him. A direction. A passion. A sense that his life has meaning beyond waiting around for someone to love him. A feeling that he is building something, even quietly, even slowly, and that she would be coming alongside that life, not filling an empty one. Because there is a difference between a man who wants a girl to complete him, and a man who wants to share something that is already growing. Girls feel that difference immediately. The first feels heavy. Like pressure. Like responsibility. The second feels exciting. Like possibility. Like something worth stepping into. A man with purpose does not beg for love. He does not chase approval. He does not reshape himself every time he senses disapproval. He knows who he is. He knows where he is going. And that quiet certainty is one of the most attractive things a man can carry. Not arrogance. Not coldness. Just groundedness. And a girl who finds that, a man who is real, present, steady, and going somewhere, will fall without even fully understanding that she already has. So let's bring this together. Girls do not fall in love with performances. They do not fall in love with pressure. They do not fall in love with the man who tried the hardest. They fall in love with the feeling of being near a man who is real. A man who makes her feel emotionally safe. A man who is genuinely present. A man who stays grounded when things are uncertain. A man who has direction and does not need her to give his life meaning. A man who lets things grow naturally instead of forcing them. That man does not need tricks. He does not need methods. He does not need to study manipulation tactics. He just needs to become more of himself. And that is the work. It is not glamorous. It is not something you can shortcut. But it is the only thing that actually works. If this opens something up for you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this reach the men who need it. Subscribe if you want more honest content like this, because there is a lot more to cover. And the next video, watch it. Because it picks up exactly where this one left off, and what I share there might be the piece you have been missing the longest. See you there.